So if you don't know what's been going on, there's been a recent discourse, if you can even call it that, about this character called G.I. Robot from the show called Creature Commandos or something. G.I. Robot is basically a robot that was programmed in the 1940s to kill as many Nazis as possible. And the main drama comes from the fact that all of a sudden all these leftists and liberals are treating this character like Jesus and basically just glazing him for no reason other than the fact that he kills Nazis now. And they're going around policing anyone who doesn't glaze this character and doesn't show their utmost support for this character basically. Which I just gotta say it's just so dumb. Like dude, everyone hates Nazis. You're not some like savior or some prophet. And I didn't even want to go over this drama since it's just so dumb and just chronically online. But I kept getting video after video about this topic, so now I'm forced to learn about it, and now I might as well make a video about it. It's almost as if the FBI was just like, damn, there's no drama, we gotta make something happen, and this is what the result of this is. But anyways, the character's supposed to be complex because he has no purpose in the modern day, or barely any purpose, because there's barely any Nazis around anymore and they're not out in the open. So G.I. Robot is constantly scanning, asking questions about Nazis to figure out where they could be, when in reality most of the time they're nowhere to be found. And there's actually a scene in the show where G.I. Robot encounters Nazis, which is hilariously unrealistic and laughable, but I just let it slide because you know it's a TV show. But long story short, he gets invited by this random guy to a National Socialist Party meeting that's secretive and it's underground, and the robot, he sees all of this and he basically just shoots everyone in the room. And that's supposed to be what makes him like an anti-hero, because he shot like defenseless people, but you know, they have bad ideologies, which is kind of the reasoning of the left, is that if you have bad ideas, it's okay for you to get murdered, which might be the reason leftists like this character so much, because that's how they secretly, or not so secretly, feel about conservatives now. The opposing and more based perspective is that people who are just glazing this character like they're Jesus Christ are definitely just doing so to virtue signal and just to have more power trips and try to point fingers at people who they deem not as morally good as them. They basically act like those chronically online, politically correct Redditors who are just online all day policing other people, when they themselves don't actually do anything substantial to help anything of meaning. These people deserve to be laughed at, and I've seen online that they've been using the Reddit soy jack memes, and they definitely deserve that, because that's exactly what they are. But yeah, I mean, in the show, it's not even supposed to be about that, but somehow that's what it turned into. I don't know how, but that's just how it went down, I guess. And it's crazy that so much of a fuss was made about this character, since this character, spoiler alert, died in the middle of season 1. And people were also arguing whether G.I. Robot is more conservative or liberal, and this is just such a dumb conversation. I mean, first of all, it's a robot, so it can't have any ideas of its own, since the only reason it even wants to kill Nazis in the first place is because it was programmed to do that by a human. And second of all, every party hated Nazis back in the day, and there was even racists that fought against the Nazis too, so there's no reason to even ask that question because everyone hated Nazis. But yeah, that's basically the gist of the online drama of the character G.I. Robot. I watched the entire season of Creature Commandos just to learn more about the robot, so I could be more informed to make this video. And since I know what happened basically throughout the whole show, I'm gonna add a little review of the show at the end of this video. And I'm gonna keep the review super short, because to keep it a buck with you, this show is not worth an in-depth review, and it's just not worth watching in general. So the premise of the show is that it follows these delinquents who are well-intentioned, but they did a lot of bad things that ended them up in jail, and now Amanda Waller recruited them on a mission to go save the world, basically. And as they try and succeed in their mission, you get to see the backstories of each of the characters, to see their motivations and each of their personalities. And geez, man, you can just tell James Gunn created this, or helped make it at least, because the writing in this show is just so cringe and it's just trash. I gotta say, it's trash. All the jokes are millennial Reddit humor, and this show has a strange obsession with making almost every interaction sexual. Like, there's many very graphic scenes in the show that doesn't add anything to the show, but it's just there for shock value, I guess. Kind of like The Boys. I mean, one of the first scenes in the first episodes of the show is some princess basically just assaults this guy and forces him into having intercourse with her, which is just something you don't want to see, especially when it's a cartoon. Like, you do not want to see stuff like that. It's just nasty. So yeah, it's like every 10 minutes there's either some trash joke being said or some sexual interactions happening to keep the show interesting, I guess, because it can't stand alone. I mean, the show's basically like Suicide Squad but worse, which is already crazy to say because Suicide Squad's been washed for a while now, and none of the characters in the show are likable or interesting, which makes it even harder to watch. The only reason you'd ever throw this show on is if it's in the background and you're with some people that you like hanging out with. But other than that, do not ever watch this show. You're gonna regret it. You're gonna waste time that you're never gonna get back. Yeah, I hope they never make a season 2. This show really needs to die. But yeah, that's my very detailed and very specific review of this show. And also, I also gave my 2-piece on the G.I. Robot situation. I want to know what you guys think about it in the comments. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I actually have a Zack Snyder's Justice League video coming up too, so like the video if you want to see that. And also, as a side note, I know this is more of a technical type of topic, but my mic, I know my mic is trash, and I'm using a Blue Yeti. I'm not audio expert or anything, but if you got any tips to help my audio sound better, just hit me up in my email or just say in the comments. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.